Before I start this video, I want to start off by saying the Sonic series is in the best place it has been in years. With the success of the movies, Frontiers, Shadow Gens, and Sonic Crossworld on the way, Sonic stocks have never been higher. Even with the games like Superstars that have a more mixed reception, I still think it's a great game. I say all this because when I look at the community, the sentiment doesn't seem to reflect that. It feels like we're stuck in the Forces days sometimes, that we're still getting games like that, and that we aren't in the best spot that we've been in since the Adventure era. But with all the new Nintendo Switch 2 stuff and all the, let's say, baggage that's coming with it, we're also seeing new Mario and Donkey Kong games, and how they both look amazing. And that brings up the question, will Sonic ever surpass Mario? And I guess since we're on that topic right now, to just get right into it, I want to talk about that statement that the division manager of Sega said back in November of 2023. He said that he wants Sonic to surpass Mario. Now, this has been used as a gotcha moment whenever Sonic Team messes up. Sonic fans are, God forbid, confident in a game, and especially with the new Mario Kart coming out and looking fantastic. I mean, not $80 fantastic though. With new character models that look straight out of the 2D artwork and a new open world, it's undeniable that Nintendo is leagues ahead of Sonic, especially when it comes to the visuals and the character models, which we will be talking about soon. But when people see this new look, people are like automatically saying, oh yeah, Sonic will never be like this. And they use the quote from the division manager as kind of like a gotcha moment when they conveniently leave out the full context. Sonic is a game that was originally developed to compete with Mario, and it still hasn't achieved that goal. Our goal now is to catch up and surpass Mario because we respect Mario.
See, the key word here is catch up, you fucking idiot.
People use this quote to blame every Sonic game for not being a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, when the quote was said after the completion of the Final Horizons. And again, that will be important later, but people use this quote to be like, oh, Sonic will never be at that point, or why is Sonic not at this point now? Look at Mario. Anytime a Mario or Sonic product is coming out around the same time, they kind of just use this quote to doom post and be like disingenuous and bad faith. God forbid they set a goal for themselves, because now apparently each game has to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece or will be stuck in 7 out of 10 hell forever. It's good that they set this goal for them. They now have to meet a certain standard. Now it is up to them to meet that standard. Let's see if they keep their word. Right now, I think they are, but we'll see in the future. With that aside, let's actually try to answer the question. Will Sonic ever surpass Mario? Let's look at every major release since Frontiers to see how we are progressing to that goal. Now, when we talk about Frontiers, I also want to take this time to talk about the most controversial area of discussion in relation to Sonic at this moment, the player model. If you all remember, when they showed off Sonic Frontiers, we all saw that model that was being used, and it was still the Forces model, and it wasn't giving a good sign to anybody. But even today, we're still using that model. While slightly edited, it's still being used, and it's been under a lot of scrutiny from fans, and rightly so. They say they want to compete with Nintendo, but they're still using the same outdated model for their main character. When you look at Mario Wonder or Mario Kart World, the characters look amazing, they're animated super well, and they're accurate to the 2D art. Then you look at Sonic, a lot of work needs to be done. The model cannot animate faces at all and is so restrictive they can only emote with eyelids most of the time. The hands are too big, the muzzle curve, don't even get me started about that. Sonic Twitter got you covered. I can go into detail about this, but many already have and continue to beat this dead horse to a bloody pulp. And while some people might say, oh, it's just a model, gameplay is what's important, I'm sorry, but visuals really do make a difference, because it's the thing that you're looking at the whole game. So it's really important that what you're looking at for like 30 to 40 hours looks good. But looking at Frontiers itself, the game does have a lot of issues, most notably its polish. It does not have the polish that respectable big budget games have. I say this knowing that COD drops a new game every year, buggy as hell, and is the best-selling game of the year all the time. Listen, I can sit here all day and talk about the game's issues. Shit, I'm pretty sure some people get off shitting on the game. But despite all of that, something worked. Despite all of the issues this game has, something worked. It became the best-selling 3D Sonic game of all time. It did really well with reviews, not just in America, but in Japan, which Sonic never does well in Japan. General audiences really like the game, and they're finally invested in the future of Sonic again. But why? Well, because it was something different. The Sonic franchise at the time was on its last leg, and they knew that if they messed up, it was basically over, and they probably knew that a regular boost game was not gonna cut it. So they tried something big for the franchise, something innovative for the franchise, bringing Sonic into something that he's never done before. But it felt like the natural progression of the franchise at the same time, and it worked, despite its issues. But like mentioned previously, there are a ton of those issues that the game needs to work on. But this is a sign that Sonic Team is willing to take a risk. And I know I was beating this point to death when the game was coming out, but Mario Kishimoto, the director of the game, being on Twitter and taking the criticism and the feedback firsthand was so important, and a lot of the changes that we asked to see, we would see in the updates. That feedback and direct connection between developer and fan is so crucial. And it also showed that Sonic Team are open to change. Now moving on to Sonic Superstars, listen, all I'm gonna say, it's a mere bump in the road, okay? Because for me, personally, I think it's a really good game. I cannot lie. But I also cannot lie and say that I didn't think it played it really safe. Sure, they added a new character with Trip, but the game didn't do anything crazy or interesting. And the game did suffer from a numerous amount of bugs, especially from the multiplayer. And it definitely didn't look good when it was releasing next to Super Mario Wonder 3 days apart from each other. When we look at Mario Wonder, that game finally innovated with the 2D Mario gameplay style and art style when Nintendo realized that that art style and playstyle was already getting stagnant. Then we see Sonic and they're just playing it safe. 2D classic Sonic. And we were robbed of a 2D hand-drawn game. Oh, but it was too expensive. Fuck, man. Bro, please give this game a new budget, bro. But then we get to the most recent Sonic game to release, Sonic X Shadow Generations. And believe it or not, in like 3 weeks, this game's gonna be 6 months old, which is crazy to think about. And I still think to this day that is one of, if not the best boost games in the Sonic series, with amazing level design, a great story, and fun new game mechanics. And most importantly, polish. This game is polished to the next level. This is probably the most polished 3D Sonic game that we've ever gotten. And I'm not just talking about the bugs, I'm talking about the attention to detail as well. I gushed a ton about the polish of the game back in my review, but you can really feel the effort that went into making this game. Not just fun, but presentation wise as well. Even the animation and how the character models look, even with the limited manipulation that could be done, we have characters actually emoting with their actual eyebrows rather than just the eyelids. We have amazing camera work, way better and more fluid animation than Fronteirs could ever muster up. The models still need work so we can get the full potential of these characters and how they can animate and look, but we're getting somewhere. I honestly think that Yuakawa's 2D adventure art is the standard and what they should use for the 3D models, and we've seen it work and how good it can look. With the SA1 pre-rendered intro and the CGI cutscenes in SA2, they had the model but were limited by the technology. Overall, the game's polish is up like 1,000 points, but a bit of a complaint that I've been seeing recently is that the game doesn't feel grand or it doesn't feel innovative enough. So, did we expect it to be? I think we all knew that coming into this game, we were getting a smaller scale game. Like, I remember motherfuckers saying we were only getting 3 stages with 1 act each with 1 boss, basically calling it an episode Shadow. And even then, we got more content than we bargained for. This game was not supposed to be a full game. It's more like a DLC, similar to how Bowser's Fury is, but made for the Sonic style. We even got an open zone area for Shadow to run around in his white space. And even for the smaller scale, we still got some crazy cool gameplay mechanics like the Shadow moves and the Doom abilities and the Chaos abilities that make the gameplay really fun and unique compared to past Sonic games. And I honestly think, truthfully, that this game can go toe to toe with Bowser's Fury. And I wouldn't even, bat an eye if you said that if you prefer more than Bowser's Fury. I'm just gonna say it right now, that game is that good. And I think the fact that we can just make that comparison in 2025 is insane to me. Now, looking at everything that we have now, do I think Sonic the Hedgehog will ever surpass Mario or even catch up to him? Well, we have a game that is taking the franchise into a new era and is trying to innovate, and a game that proves that Sonic Team can still make a polished and focused and fun experience. If they combine these two teams for the next open zone mainline Sonic game, Sonic Team can 100% compete with Mario again. At least when it comes to the quality, Sonic's gameplay style is so unique that it has the potential to make one of the best 3D platformers of all time. But when it comes to sales, I don't know. I feel like Mario and Nintendo are just on a whole nother level when it comes to that. But honestly, Sonic was made to overtake Mario in the market, and one time it did. So who knows? Maybe if they really make something great, they could, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But at least when it comes to the quality of the games, they can 100% do that. That's going to be on them to put in the work to see if they're really about that. And that's really all I have to say for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down below. What do you guys think? Do you think that Sonic will ever surpass Mario or even catch up? Again, like I said, I think he will. I think this next game really is the point where they have to prove it to us. But if this game even is like, if it's the same quality as Shadow Gens, then I think we'll be fine. I'm just really interested to see where they take the franchise now. Yeah, I mean, I did originally was gonna make a video like this. It was way more depressing, but I think I had to, you know, let it rest for a bit. Come back to the idea when it's less depressing and actually give it, you know, an actual like critical stance on it. But for now, I think we're at a good spot in the franchise. I think it's really, really, really healthy. We'll see where the next game takes us. That's really all I have to say for today, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Also, don't forget, AMV contest. Make your AMVs.